Howdy, hey there, it's me, Manic Mark, coming to you from the bunker system located underneath the Art Villa Pound somewhere in the jungles of the Midwest. And today I don't even know where to start. I didn't make any notes, like I normally have this whole long list. No, I don't. I never make notes. I just sit down and I just start babbling until something happens. So I've got some records. Let's just start with that. We went to it's my wife's birthday today. Happy birthday to my wife. She likes to poke around in antique stores, so I took her to the antique store that I know has the possibility of finding some good records, just because, oh look, there's records, you don't mind if I just... so there's one booth there where the guy has records that I like that are really cheap. I found some good ones there, I think. Okay, so just moving. And then the bathroom. It was another crazy week. We're going on week 4, starting tomorrow, Saturday. And I got the rough-end plumbing finished yesterday. It took 2 days. Here's a photograph of some of the plumbing, and I'll put up a photograph of some more of the plumbing. Here you go. Basically, it was I call it a cluster flux. I'm so cute with the turn of a phrase. Cluster flux. Getting just like 10 feet of plumbing, I had to go. I had to cut out the shut-off valves out of one area where the plumbing had to originate from in a run to a utility sink, and put them on before that on the other side of the foundation wall. And then I had to go over where this heating duct I took out goes in, and then down and a joist, and then up and over, and then up to the shower with a T, and in front of that goes over to the sink, which has to go up and over. Then, because of all the floor joists and everything, I had to go up beside both of the runs, beside the waistline. Then one had to come up and over, and then turn again and come out of the wall because it's a pedestal sink. So one day I worked for 12 hours just for a little bit, you know, and then there was one place where, I didn't line them up right, and I had to cut them apart and do it again. And then I made this really complicated turn and go up to the shower, and I was working on the other one, and I looked at it and I went, whoa, wait a minute. You put a 90 in that instead of a T. Where are you going to get cold water to the sink? And I thought, I was so tired, I just thought, well, maybe we could just take cold water to the sink in buckets in the morning and use... So I had to cut that apart, and then I ran out of parts, of course, because I had counted pretty closely what I needed in my plan. And so then I was not at all confident in my ability to make this 20 T's and 20 90s and 2 T's and some straight throughs where I had to patch connectors to make them work. Because I put some of the pipe together where I had to, you know, do the solder joint going up. I wasn't exactly, I don't like, rather I try to, when I get to a point like that, I try to do that first, somewhere else level or whatever, and then go and put the other pipe back. So we tested the hot cold water yesterday, had my wife standing upstairs to yell at me if something happens, if I was spraying all over, and I turned it on, she didn't yell, and I'm like, no leaks? No, both no leaks. I couldn't believe it. I did a happy dance, a spontaneous happy dance. I was asked to replicate the happy dance because it was so exuberant and spontaneous. There's no way I can replicate that dance. I can't even do it in a mocking fashion. It's just, anyway. My wife said, "Whoever saw you dance?" And he looked at you like, "What the hell?" So we went to the pet store. That's the other thing. My wife goes, "Don't run the yellow light." And I said, "Why?" And I sped up and ran it. There's cameras all over everything. I go through, I saw it turn red. Just as I was across the first crossing. Like, oh my God, there's fucking cameras. There's cameras everywhere. And all these intersections out there. And then there was another like left-hand turn light that only 3 cars could get through. And I waited 3 times. And then on my turn, the light's like, what? And they waited 2 seconds, so I followed another yellow light. I'm like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. I have a bad feeling. Anyway. Okay, so I'm still guys. Anyway, where were we at? Let's just go right into the records, right? That's enough for the stories. Okay. The first part of these records came off of eBay and a lot. So some of them were just some... you know, just ones I normally just wouldn't pick up individually, but just happen to be a lot. And I have no idea what the hell is going on in this, but Paris 1925, not too excited about that, but it's a fun cover. Wayne King, I really, well, you know, when I say I don't like something, and people that like every day, like the 25, there'll be 25 Wayne King lovers that will be watching the video like, oh, how could you say that? Well, it's just, but I like some of the covers anyway. Andre Previn, another one, but I don't know. You never know. I hate this because, but here's a good album, and then everybody watches it and say, "Oh, I hate that album. Why would you think that's a good album?" But this is excellent on Bamboo Tak Shindo. I think I got 2 of his albums, and they're both sort of like Asian with Western pop mood influences. Oh, this is interesting. I believe I've got this one. I know I've got this one, but I don't know. I don't remember it having a. And this is on Capitol, but they put a sticker, like they misprinted the track list on the back, and they stuck a big old fat sticker even over some of the copy that explains the records on the back. Isn't that curious? Bobby Hackett, got a number of his albums. I don't think I've got this one, Bobby Hackett. This is also a good album that I have, but I'm not sure, wasn't sure of the condition of the one that I have or the cover. And the one, and I may have it on 10-inch. I just can't remember. Anyway, I love the cover on this sort of this abstract expressionist cover. I love it. I love it. And it's good. As I remember, it's an interesting sounding, right? Paul Weston, Hollywood Orchestra Soundstage bunch. Let's Dance, the Society Waltz. Then this could be good, and I can't remember if I've got it. The cover kind of looks familiar. Tommy Morgan, Tropicali. It'd be probably the E silent. I don't know. I'm not sure if I've got this one. I don't think I have this Stereo Action album. This is a really clean copy, except for where there was a sticker on the top. Brass laced with strings, Vic Sean. Okay. If you're not familiar with the series of records, it came in a really heavy white cardboard cover with a heavy, glossy inner sleeve that had the photograph on it that showed through the die cut. And in many cases, including this one, it's sort of a cool kind of spirograph. Remember that? Did you have a spirograph growing up? Oh, look, I'm going in circles. You know, 5 minutes later, you're like, oh, well, I'm going to go back outside and set fire to my Tonka toys. It was more fun smashing them up and setting fire to them. That says a lot about why you turned out to be the way you are. Now on to the antique store. Most of the albums, not all of them, were like $3.50, which for an antique store is cheap. But for a record store around here is cheap. It's cheap, pretty cheap. So it's pretty cool to find these fun records. Kessel Jazz. It's a 1950s jazz album featuring Latin rhythms, like songs like the One Note Samba, Blues in the Night, The Peanut Vendor. That could be really good. This is a terrific cover. Helmut Zacharias, his Magic Violin. Look at this cover. Oh my God. It's a lady lying on a dead lion. That's just terrific. Rendezvous with Camera Ata. When he was born, I thought any time in his life did he ever sit down with his parents and say, why? Why so many A's in your last name? It's really confusing me and the teachers at school. Nice cover though. Anytime Hal Mooney, another nice cover. Right there. And another super cover. Cool Sounds, a Hollywood budget label, but sometimes the Hollywood had great covers, and then sometimes the contents, although budget, were fun stuff to listen to. Okay, so that's a great cover. Alkeola Combo, all strung out Alkeola. This is made during the time we had the problem, you know, with the horse, the H, injecting H, back in the 70s, and made this album under the influence of, you know, it was a sad time for Al. Pictures in Music, Frank Perkins. Here's another super cover of the artist doing the impressionistic. What are you going to do with that? You know, and he's wearing the beret, and it's just Why? Why the braid? Looks like the braid was added later. The braid the braid was added as a black shape in post effects, not in Photoshop. That was before Photoshop. Alvino Rey album. I don't even know if I've got any of his albums. But here we go. This one's titled My Reverie. Reverie? Alvino Rey. Here's a super cool cover. Caress. The trumpeter, Murray McEachern. See, now, you shouldn't have tried to pronounce that one either. You thought you could do it, and then you tried and it didn't work. Renee White Heat. Great cover. Seems like I got this one, but I couldn't remember. So I picked it up anyway. It's a great cover. Harry Revel made that space record. Then I can't think of the name of it. Oh, I remember. I've got it. It's got some theremin in it. Anyway, here's a Mood Music by the same guy with a really terrific cover. Really terrific cheesecake cover. Fun to find that. Now this one, I hated to spend this much money. I have to just say I spent $10 on it. It's a covers album by Modern Sound, and I've got a number of Modern Sounds albums. Usually they just give them away wherever you find them. But this cover was just so fantastic. I thought it was worth the money. And covers of Wipeout and some of these songs, Dead Men's Curve, Surfer Girl, could be fun. But anyway, hold it up and show the cover. Right there. There. It's a red surfboard and a red hot rod. Dragging and surfing. So that could be the sample, but I don't know. So this is the part where I sit here and I drink my Czech beer, my Czech beer from the Czech Republic. A friend gave this to me and said Praga was Czech for Pepsi because the beer is so sweet. He said, I would just serve it over shaved ice. You could make an ice ball, a beer ice ball with this. It's so sweet. And when you take the first few swigs are kind of refreshing, but after that it's just like a grind to have to like continue to drink the whole thing until the bottle's completely empty, which I will do. I just say there wasn't any leaks. There were some really small leaks around the screw-in fittings that I've got to try to crank down again. Now that I've thought I cranked them all pretty hard, put them together, and everything is set just right to be cranked that much, so if I take them apart and crank them again, like where my shut-off valves under the pedestal sink, where that thing that comes up where I hook my supply line in, it's not going to stick up that way. It's probably going to be turned or something weird. I got to just pack it up with the plumber's tape, crank them again, and see if I can't get them to stop just a little tiny bit of, irritation there that I have to correct before I move on to the next irritation, whatever the hell that is.